Hello ladies and gentlemen, I have some exciting news today. We have the very first piece of viewer mail. You want to see it? I do. Let's see. This comes from one of our best fans ever. Let's check. Open the box. Oh, wrapping paper and combustibles. I'm Chains, welcome to the Chains Project. Today's reading is Genesis chapter 19, verse 1 to 11, the depravity of Sodom. Who's ready for some blind people? I am. The two angels came to Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gateway of Sodom. When Lot saw them, he rose to meet them, and bowed down with his face to the ground. He said, "Please, my lords, turn aside to your servant's house, and spend the night and wash your feet. Then you can rise early and go on your way." They said, "No, we will spend the evening in the square." But he urged them strongly, so they turned aside to him and entered his house. And he made them a feast, and baked unleavened bread, and they ate. But before they lay down, the men of the city, the men of Sodom, both young and old, all to the last man, surrounded the house. And they called to Lot, "Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us so that we may know them." Lot went out the door to the men, shut the door after him, and said, "I beg you, my brothers, do not act so wickedly. Look, I have two daughters who have not known a man. Let me bring them out to you and do to them as you please. Only do nothing to these men, for they have come under the shelter of my roof." But they replied, "Stand back." And they said, "This fellow came here as an alien, and he intends to play the judge. Now we will deal worse with you than with them." And they pressed hard against the man Lot, and came near the door to break it down. But the men reached out with their hands, and brought Lot into the house with them, and shut the door. And they struck with blindness the men who were at the door of the house, both small and great, so they were unable to find the door. So God's two buddies finally make it to Sodom, and who do they find at the front door but none other than Lot, the nephew of Abraham. So then they're talking to Lot, and Lot's like, "You guys should totally come to my house. We just got a new sofa." And they're like, "Nah, we don't want to come to your house. We're going to stay in like the square, open area, chat with some people." But then Lot's like, "You should really come to my house. It'd be a very good idea, trust me." And because Lot's very annoying, they were like, "Alright, fine, if you'll stop talking to us, we'll come to your house and do whatever the heck you want." So they get to Lot's house, and Lot's like, "Epic feast of awesome, nummy nummy bread and other good stuff." And they were putting their pajamas on, but then guys came to the house, and Lot was like, "Oh guys, what the heck do you want?" They're like, "We want to talk to these cool people. We heard their magic." And Lot was like, "No, you just want to have sex with them because you're pervy pants. But you can have my daughters instead. That's totally cool." They're sluts anyways. I saw them blowing a guy in the alley the other day. And they were like, "No, we want the dudes. Duh." And then they squished Lot up against the door, but the door opened inward, which was a dumb idea. And the two guys who were inside opened the door and pulled Lot in, then shut the door, then threw a flashbang grenade thing, whatever the heck's in Call of Duty that makes you blind, and nobody could find the door. And now it's a mystery of where did the magic house disappear to? Alright, so in this story, there's a lot of weird stuff that goes on. And if you are questioning the motives of everybody, you should be, because it doesn't make any damn sense. First thing I really want to know was, why the hell was Lot at the gate, first of all? Some people say, oh, well, he was like an official in the city, and he maybe was the gatekeeper, or maybe he was the mayor, and he was supposed to greet people that come in, or something like that. And other people say, well, maybe he owned a hotel, and he was trying to entice travelers to come to his house. And he didn't actually know that these two men were God's buddies, and he was just trying to get business to get them to come to his house, which is why he enticed them a whole bunch to, hey, come to my house, we have the best deal, the magic, you get free chocolate on your pillow. I started that mine Lot patent chocolate pillow thing. Or maybe he did know who they were and he was trying to protect them. Another weird thing that happens is these angels or men or whatever they really are, no one really knows. It's questionable if it is actually the Holy Trinity now, because they were like, we're going to sleep in the square, which is a public place, which is very open. That was their main idea. They're like, well, we're going to go there. But then they changed their mind after Lot, whatever it means by him urging them strongly to come stay at his house. Maybe they didn't know the whole thing that was going to happen, and maybe Lot was like, well, there's people who are going to like rape you or something like that, or they're going to be way too social and you're not going to like that, so you should come to my house. Which really questions if it is the Holy Trinity, they're not really omniscient, or they're just playing along as always, which you never know, and it makes the argument stupid. The other really weird thing that happens is just the terrible parenting of Lot. These two guys come in who are travelers, but he's going to toss his two virgin daughters out there to the onslaught of icky people. That's very questionable, and I'm pretty sure he'd be on Dr. Phil if that happened today. Now, one of the major parts of this story is all the people coming to Lot's house. For some reason, I guess news travels fast in Sodom. From what we're told to believe about Sodom is that it's a very evil place, and they like to just stick their penises in anything, which is the main reason why they came there, and we're not really sure if they were doing that, or they just are really, really friendly, and they wanted to talk with the new people, which is questionable even in that itself. And it's pretty understandable, but that the story is trying to tell us that they wanted to have sex with them, or they meant so that we may get to know them, wink wink, with our penises. And if they are all gay people, then Lot's like suggestion maybe of giving his daughters out, and that he knew they were going to turn them down, but he was maybe trying to persuade them. He was trying to make them feel like not as oppressed, and Lot was like, well, I could give you this, but I can't give you that. It kind of, you know, maybe you get a less good present. Makes you not hate the guy as much, but obviously they didn't fall for it, and stuff happened. Now, there's a lot of argument about whether the punishment that was kind of given to all the gay people is symbolic of anything, of them being pretty much just lustful and only wanting something for a physical appearance reason, maybe, and you know, when you're blind you can't see things most of the time unless you're magic, and that would show as a punishment, meaning that, well, they got blinded so they wouldn't be able to be physically attracted to things, because maybe God's two buddies were handsome devils like Matthew Passmore or whatever. I mean, that is an attractive man. And the punishment shows that, well, maybe you should not just be after the physical form and lusting towards that, if that is what it is, but we're not really told, and that's just speculation, but in my opinion, it kind of makes a little bit of sense. Don't hurt me, though, because I probably am wrong. Now, I kind of struggled trying to figure out what the main point of the story exactly was. A big part of me is leaning towards the, well, maybe the point of the story is that not everybody wants to talk to you, or not everybody wants to have you stick their penis in you, depending on what the motives of the people of Sodom were. Or maybe another argument is you need to be really, really, really nice to your guests and use your virgin daughters to defend them from angry mobs. I'm not really sure what it is. What do you guys think it is? Honestly, I am kind of split here and not really sure exactly what the main point of the story is. And that's it for this episode of The Chains Project. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm all mouth-feely better now. Ah, so much fun. Soup, ice cream for a while. Ah, why do we even have wisdom teeth? What the hell's up with that, God? And as always, please leave all your Chainsauce comments, questions, and concern in the comment section below, or send me an email. I love them. And I was working on an outro, but I have to move soon, so I've been packing up a whole bunch of stuff. It's fun. Peanut butter, crunchy peanut butter.